I want to thank everyone for joining us for our session today, something that we call Tech Talks Live. Some of you have joined us before, so I say thank you for joining again. And for the folks that haven't joined us through these sessions, welcome. So welcome to today's session. So we have two sponsors we'd like to thank. We have Zoom and Qumu. So if I'll take this time and allow the folks from Zoom to say good morning and hello. Adam, if you want to start.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Adam Burr here. I'm a Zoom phone specialist here to talk about our Zoom platform, and we're very appreciative of Corporate Data Voice Solutions to have us on, and thanks everyone for joining us.
Perfect. And hi, everybody. Aaron Leviston here. I am a channel account manager responsible for the relationship between CDVI and Zoom, and extremely excited about this partnership between Zoom and Qumu, and hope to get an opportunity to work with you further.
Good morning, everyone. Carrie Schaefer. I'm on the marketing team and glad to have you all here.
Fantastic.
Good morning. Eric Wright with Qumu. I'm the strategic account manager here. Pretty excited to be working with Corporate Data and Voice and the Zoom team on this call today.
Adriana, want to say good morning?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tech Talks. Adriana with the marketing team supporting here the event. Thank you.
All right. And do we still have Doug?
Hello, everyone. Again, like everybody else said, happy everybody joined. Really looking forward to the content here today.
All right. Thank you. So we have a few people from the Corporate Data and Voice team. I'll let them say good morning as well.
Morning, guys. Pete Lankarge here from Rhode Island, client specialist with Corporate Data. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Morning,
Kelly?
everybody. Kelly Kuchar, Corporate Data and Voice Senior Client Specialist, and thanks for coming.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. Rachel with Corporate Data and Voice, Client Specialist, and glad to be here.
And Christy.
Good morning, everybody. Client Specialist, happy to see everybody here today.
All right. So we have a quick agenda here. The goal is to get people on, get people content, give a few raffle prizes out, as we're going to talk about, and then and be on with our day. So you know, I'll be speaking for the next about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to turn it over to just lost my train of thought. Sorry, Qumu. And then over to Zoom, we'll finish up with some Q&A and raffles. All right, so again, a quick agenda, get your content, get you going on your day. A couple of housekeeping items. So if you wouldn't mind, when people are presenting, mute your microphone and mute your video. Sometimes we feel it, there's less distractions if we do that. We are recording this session. Each attendee that is present at the end will receive a Grubhub e-gift card. So you know, the folks from Qumu is presenting those to us. At the end, 2 names will be drawn, and this slide is a little inaccurate. The folks from Zoom have some really neat gift bundles, I guess you could call, right, Pete? Is that right?
Yeah, it was, I believe it was a Patagonia fleece with the Zoom logo on it, along with a t-shirt, and there was something else. There was a nice package from Zoom with swag items.
Excellent. So must be present to win at the end. And if you have questions, and if you ask the questions through chat, or you can unmute and present the question that way. For every great question, we'll put an extra name in the hat for one of the raffles. So the more great questions we hear, more chances to win. And then I guess that's what I just said. Each qualifying question will receive an additional chance to win. For the folks that don't know Corporate Data and Voice, or as we call ourselves, CDVS, we are not just in this world to present information, and you know, if you go with our solution, we sign you up and run away. We actually do a lot more. We actually came to this part of the industry through what we call the premise world, helping organizations deploy physical solutions in their premise. But with the evolution of cloud, we've transitioned more and more of our solutions to the cloud. So the idea is, we're part of the team. We're part of your team as much as you want us to be. We take a consultative approach to help you find the right solution for you. We assist with project planning, implementation, again, as much as you want us to be a part of the project. We are an ongoing additional resource for your team. So many times we may sign somebody up for video or for phone or for streaming or for SAN solution, but then they come back and say, gee, we have this project going on in this department. What do you think? Do you have a solution that can help us there? We take a high touch, of course, at this time we're not touching anybody, but a high touch approach to our industry and deploying and helping organizations find solutions. We have an extremely high customer retention rate, and we're very proud of that, right? So essentially, you sign on with us, you're not going to forget who we are. Let's just say that. We'll be in constant contact with you. We're passionate about what we do. Been in business since 2003. We still haven't lost the passion. We love, as crazy as it sounds, we love technology, and we continue to embrace the evolution of technology in this industry. And last but not least, we're pretty simple in the way we do business. And what I mean by that, we have 3 pillars of how we do business: honesty, integrity, and accountability. That's the foundation of our business, because we feel if we don't start with those 3 items, we can't do the right thing for customers and organizations. So again, we want to be a partner, not just a vendor, right? We just don't want to sign you up and run away. We're here for the long haul if you choose to do business through us and with us. And we like to put a slide at the end, little fun slide. So I don't know if anybody's seen this one, but I think it's pretty applicable for this time that we're seeing here. So that's it for me. I am going to stop sharing. And where is Eric? Eric, I am going to allow you to start sharing, I guess. Hold on one second. All right, Eric, you should have the ability to.
I do. I've got
Excellent.
I got master control here. Look at that.
All right, that's scary, by the way.
There you go. Perfect. Thanks, Joe, for kicking us off. And again, thanks to Corporate Data and Voice for putting this together. Again, my name's Eric Wright. I am the strategic account manager here at Qumu. I got probably the best job at Qumu. Don't tell Adriana or anybody else on this call, because I get to deal with our customers daily, and we have some of the best customers on the planet. And I really enjoy the fact that we get to build those relationships. We get to work with our clients on strategy, and it's been really exciting over the past year. For us as an organization around video, being video centric, not so much for the COVID stuff, but it's really put us kind of squarely in a really need to have mode versus a nice to have mode with our client base. So where I wanted to start really is understanding what's changed in the past year in the industry, what we're seeing from our client base. And I think most of you are probably seeing this. We're seeing office closures and consolidations, not necessarily, I mean, there have been layoffs and whatnot, but most of my customers are really pushing people home. I haven't traveled since last February, which is killing me. I need those business vacations. I think we're all probably in the same boat there. A lot of those virtual events or a lot of those in-person events that we've done, the Vegas trips, the sales kickoffs, all of those have essentially in the last year have evaporated. And we're seeing a lot of security concerns around the industry, specifically around video and how it's consumed and how it's delivered. And then more importantly, scalability. So how do we get one to many or few to many type communications to people that are working at home, but also working. We do have quite a few of our customers that actually have essential employees still in the office. So you're still trying to balance that delivery. One interesting note that we're seeing a lot in our base right now, and I think it's a pretty fair number, is out of the 100% of folks that were living working in an office daily, we're going to see probably 60% of those folks go back to the office, and we're probably going to see more than 40% actually either work from home for permanent or at least through the next year and a half is the plan. So we are building our platforms and our approach to our technology to be able to support both an at-home and in the workplace, and we're really well geared to manage that today, and we'll go through a little bit of that. So what does the new normal look like for video? A lot of the things that we're seeing is investments that would have been made, things like travel, the events, new office openings are actually being pushed back to UCaaS and other video strategies, with the understanding that they need to make communications really the priority, since they're not going to be people sitting in offices going forward. We're seeing not only adoption on the enterprise level, but also on lines of business, retail, and others, because we deal with a lot of retail clients as well. And it's how do we get people trained, since they're not actually.
I'll be honest, Joe, for a minute, I thought that was myself. I've got 3 kids, and my wife's a school teacher, and they're all at home, and we have 5 people at home Zooming today. So
Sure.
Glad to know my bandwidth is working out, but
Yeah.
definitely a sign of the times, right?
All right. So the fact that he was the help me out here. The fact that he was the host at the time. Oh, it looks like Pete, you're back.
Yeah, I'm the host again.
So you're gonna have to let him back in. If he doesn't join quickly, Adam, we may pivot.
Sure.
That's
no problem.
Word of the year, right? We may pivot over to you and then have.
Come to expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
Great. Are you seeing my screen okay?
We do. Thank you. Appreciate this, Adam.
No problem. So kind of some statistics that actually, not to steal Eric's thunder, but some of the things that he was just talking about. We're obviously seeing the same, here at Zoom and out in the market, and we look at how work styles are changing, and these are some interesting statistics that 91% of employees say that technology influences their job choice among similar offers. So as employees are looking for work, as college graduates are coming into the workplace and they're looking at your organization, they're looking at maybe a competitor, the technology that you have in your organization is influencing their decision. They want to work, 80% want to work with cutting edge. They want to go to an organization that has the best cloud technology, the best software, whether it be from a PC or to Zoom or to collaboration, security, video streaming. They want that cutting edge technology. And believe it or not, 90% prefer to choose their work location. I think some of us would probably say, well, who wouldn't? But the reality is now it's not even an ask, it's almost a demand. So as a lot of IT leaders that we meet with, they have to have the ability to not only support the office worker, but now the hybrid worker, and then the remote only worker. So definitely changing times. And we look at some of these stats that I think are not surprising maybe, but even before COVID, that by 2027, 50% of the workforce around the country will be freelance. And by that, a 1099 employee, not even a full-time employee. So much work is getting outsourced even here in the States because of being able to work from home, because of the talent pool, growing. And then 50% of knowledge workers will work away from corporate offices. So I know kind of the common theme, and again, with COVID, it's not as hard to fathom, but even before COVID, and even I saw a stat the other day that Gartner put out that by like 2024, over 50%, almost 70% of the workforce will be of the millennial generation. So how they consume technology and what they demand is much different than maybe a lot of us that have been in the workforce for the last 20 years. We have different ideas of the technology we want. So it's definitely, we're seeing this big shift, and we really think that companies like Qumu, companies like Zoom, how we've positioned ourselves is we're able to help those organizations, with the technology they're going to need for, for the workforce. So our vision at Zoom, obviously everyone's familiar with Zoom meetings. In some form or fashion, you've probably used our platform, but it's really about our platform and having a frictionless video first communications platform. And by that, whether you're on a Zoom meeting, whether you're in a chat, a phone call that we have that we're going to talk a lot about today, or you're in a webinar room, but being able to move across that platform seamlessly is really our vision, to let customers, whether it be on their mobile device, their desktop, however they want to communicate and move across our platform. So really, you'll hear me say platform a lot today, and that's really what Zoom is all about. And it's our core that we build off of. So what you're familiar with, and a lot of folks, is our meetings platform up here in the light blue, the meetings, our audio, and maybe our chat. That's been at the core. And then the last 4 or 5 years, we have really moved, due to customers' demand, into, and obviously pre-COVID, more conference rooms and Zoom rooms, tying in with legacy equipment in conference rooms. So if you have old conference room equipment, and you're thinking about maybe using the Zoom room, we have ways to tie into that. And then we do a lot now with digital signage and scheduling displays. So really kind of rounding out that conference room experience and the building experience. And then our whole platform is open. So it's open to developers. Companies like Qumu can come in, they build applications. We work together. They do a lot in the streaming space. So having this open platform, not only allows third-party partners, but we also let our customers. So if anyone out there has, internal applications that you built, you're able to tie those into our platform. And that might be for meetings. It might be a CRM or something for our phone platform or for our chat platform. So we're very customer friendly when it comes to development on our platform. And then in the dark blue, the far right here, these are the last two kind of that have completed this this platform, this wheel, so to speak, is really phone and video webinars. I think more and more folks are getting familiar with webinar. And then phone is the latest that has come into the platform, that actually a lot of people don't understand that Zoom actually is now offering a full, what we call UCaaS or phone offering. So we're gonna touch on that, because I think it's something that's unique and that maybe a lot of folks maybe don't realize. But when we come back to that platform, there has been, it is architected for reliability and scale. As you've maybe heard in the news, I mean, the scale part, obviously COVID we said we were built to scale, and we were able to do that during the pandemic. Some numbers that were publicly released, we went from 30 million, meeting participants a day to over 300 million. So the scale piece is in the platform. And I say that because I want people to feel confident in it. And then we do have, a 4.9 SLA. And then some of the things that came out, Joe, like you've probably heard during COVID, was the Zoom bombing and schools, and there were some concerns over security. And we can assure everyone that those issues have been addressed. And a lot of it was around, I don't say user error, but maybe the way we laid out the platform, things like waiting rooms, things like, automatic passwords when you set up a meeting. A lot of those have been enabled, and that's really helped our EDU section. And then just some end-to-end encryption, which is really important, that we've worked really hard on. So, feel free to reach out to the team at CDVS or even put in chat if you have any questions regarding security. But a lot of that has kind of a thing of the past at this point, but we do take security on the Zoom platform very, very serious.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
Two things. First of all, have we seen Eric by any chance? Have you seen him pop in?
I have not yet.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. And then the second piece was on your previous slide, the developer part is, can people find information on the website about the developer?
Yeah, absolutely. And Aaron or Carrie, if you have a minute, would you mind putting in chat a link to, it's at zoom.us, but there's also a developer platform. So obviously companies like Qumu, is listed in our marketplace, but there's hundreds of different applications for all kinds of different technology that, companies have built, and then that we're building ourselves, and then organizations. So like I said, mentioning, potentially building in a CRM or different type of application that you may want to tie into our platform. So yeah, you should be able to find that at zoom.us, but they'll put a link. So I see one other question from Mike. 4 nines uptime includes Zoom Phone as well? And the answer is yes, we do by default 4 nines, and then if needed, we can work on a 5 nines SLA if that's something your organization needs, because we do run at that level.
All right, great, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mike, for the question.
So phone, again, a lot of companies didn't realize this was an offering that we have. It's been in the market for about 2 years, and it was really an ask from our largest enterprise customers. We were doing, everything else on the platform that we talked about here, and really a lot of companies were coming and, asking why can't we? They were asking our executive team, Joe, why can't you do our phone? Why can't you help us with our telephony? We love the platform, we love Zoom, and so really, phone was born. It is a true unified communications offering. I'll go through a few of the features, but it is a robust application, and it does 2 things that I think are really unique, and why it's been adopted so widely out of the gate here is for IT. So anyone that's on today that manages an IT system, manages their phone system, the Zoom Phone is built right into our meetings platform. So if you're managing a Zoom meetings platform, Zoom Phone is in that same pane of glass. It's in the same admin portal. So it's extremely easy for IT to administer and deploy. And then the other thing it does is from a user adoption. Joe, I know you guys have sold a lot of software, and selling software and purchasing software can be difficult. But if your users don't use the software that you're buying as an organization, it's obviously a fail, and it can be, a costly one. So having an application like Zoom Phone that's built right into the meetings platform that the users know how to use, everybody can use Zoom meetings. Zoom Phone is just as easy. And then it goes across all of our devices. So it's not only on, on the desktop, it's on our mobile applications, and it's the exact same interface. So the user adoption is really, really high. And, in a traditional telephony system, it could take months to transition and educate and train. And Zoom Phone is being done in a matter of weeks. So two big advantages that it is on that single platform. And then we do, I'm going to run through, as you see over on the right, any, pretty much all features that you're going to find, on your traditional telephony system or even a cloud provider is going to be in Zoom Phone. So we do have over 350 features, and we can go into more detail, at a later date, but just know that it is a robust offering that's being used by some of the Fortune 100 and even the Fortune 1, around the world. But we make it with that, we always think of our customers first at Zoom, whether it's meetings, rooms, and now phone. We make it very easy to use. So understanding our pricing, oh, good. Aaron, thanks for putting that in the chat. So understanding what features we have, understanding the pricing, we don't make it complex. So it's very easy for folks like our partners for CDVS to work on proposals with you. Very simple to deploy, and that's just kind of the Zoom philosophy. Again, I mentioned earlier that I've got 3 young kids somewhere in this house of mine that are using Zoom meetings today. So very simple. So it isn't while it's robust, it's very simple for our users to use. This gives you an idea of the application over on the right you may be familiar with if you've used Zoom. And you can see now that our chat platform, everything is built into that one pane of glass because it is our single architecture. So we make and receive phone calls. We share content back and forth. We participate in video meetings. You're able on our system to be in a chat, and I could be chatting with Joe and then say, hey, and I instantly move to a phone call and call Joe. And then I said, Joe, hey, let's review this presentation. We're on the phone. And I move that phone call directly into a Zoom meeting. So I frictionlessly move across the platform at any time. And our team messaging is one-to-one, one-to-many. So we are seeing a lot of organizations, a lot of IT teams that are, moving to their Zoom meetings. They're moving for phone, but they're also adopting our chat platform to have, again, that single platform, so they don't have multiple platforms across the organization. And again, we're able to move from one device to the next. And then when it does come to devices, from a phone side, we obviously work with physical devices, but our mobile applications, like I mentioned earlier, everything you're able to do on our Zoom platform, you're able to do from your mobile device as well. So that user adoption, again, is very high. It's a matter of downloading a free application from the iOS or Android device, and then you're getting that same look and feel like you would maybe on your desktop. So it's very high adoption.
Hey, Adam, we do have a
Yeah.
question from Thomas Jones. He sees sees emergency calling mention. How do 911 calls with mobile remote clients work, I guess?
Yeah, so if you're on the mobile device and you make a 911 call, the mobile carrier will take over that 911 call and then complete the call, and use the cellular carrier for that. Otherwise, we do have dynamic 911 for, say, I'm in a home office, I'm on a soft phone. The user is able to set their 911 address, and then the system would route to my house, obviously, then Zoom's corporate office. We also, for larger enterprises or campus type settings, we just recently released nomadic 911, which is really advanced 911, going down to, say, a Wi-Fi string. So if you was in a building A or building C on a campus, or floor 5 of a building, 911 is going to be able to recognize exactly where you're at inside of a building based on Wi-Fi. And we're also, Joe, we're working on some really neat cutting edge technology of tying in 911 to safety response teams, as well as digital signage. So something really neat that we demoed at our user conference, Zoomtopia, where someone is able to make a 911 call, and then when first responders reach a building, the digital signage in the lobby actually shows a map to where the employees. That is in beta, so that's not live, but that does go back again to, I know I keep harping on it, but that single platform, Joe, having the architecture and that platform that we can build on gives us the ability to do that. So yeah, we have a robust 911 offering.
So yeah,
Sure.
I think that helps. Pretty amazing, especially with the signage. That's awesome. So Mike has a question, hopefully not jumping too far forward, but can you send receive text messages from Zoom phone?
So the answer is yes. So you can SMS and MMS from the Zoom phone number, so that, and even on the mobile device, it's going to be texting like you normally would, but it is through that one Zoom phone number, where you can make and receive calls, and then you can do SMS as well.
You see Rob's question here?
Let's see, does the Zoom platform with chat call also support a quick, easy way to screen share without starting a full Zoom meeting? Thinking for troubleshooting, etc. You would have to elevate. So if you were in a phone call, say with a client, you would have to elevate them to a Zoom meeting. But if that person didn't join a meeting, I mean, I guess you could pull someone's audio into a meeting. But if you wanted to share screen individually, you would need to elevate that into a meeting. But it is one touch. So one click of a button from our soft phone, it just elevates a meeting, and you pull that right into the meeting. So it is a one touch.
Peter has a question.
Yeah, MS Teams is attempting to play catch up by releasing breakout rooms and other new features, but have the advantage of being part of the Office suite. What are your biggest differentiators from them, and how do you continue to stay ahead? It's a great question. Obviously, we are a big competitor, with Microsoft Teams. Yet at the same time, we are partners with them. So let's be clear about, we do have integrations with Teams. Zoom Meetings does integrate with Teams. And then we recently just launched a version 1, of a kind of a work nicer with Teams, where you can actually launch a Zoom phone call with inside of Teams. It is if you're familiar with any of the integrations, it's not a direct routing where we're the actual carrier. We keep our interface, that it cross launches a Zoom client. I think, but some of the differentiators, obviously everyone knows Microsoft, now everyone knows Zoom. I think it's inherent in our platform, and I think it's best in class. So when you look at video, it for a long time, it's all that we've done, and we really do have the leading edge. Even the Gartner Magic Quadrant just came out for meetings, and we really do have a cutting edge technology with Zoom Meetings. So it's more of a best in breed with meetings. And then now with phone, even the international map that I have right now, we're in over 40 countries for native type service. I think Teams is in 12. So phone, when you come to that complete offering on Microsoft Teams, it gets expensive, but two, it isn't what they do. Phone is not not at the core of their product offering. As we know, security is really the big thing for Microsoft. So when you look across all the different types of communication, I think as the bundle, we tend to win a lot on the platform. So companies coming for meetings, for phone, and for chat, for everything, is where we're seeing a big uptick in the wins against Microsoft. But to your point, time will tell. It is definitely our biggest competition would be Microsoft Teams. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so like I said, this is our, just so you get an idea of where Zoom Phone is available. We're in over 40 countries, and that means we can provide emergency services, we port phone numbers, we get new phone numbers. So something traditional like you would see here in the US. And a lot of people are really astounded by how fast Zoom has grown internationally. And this really is because our network has always been there for the last 10 years. And because we have meetings customers, we have global enterprise customers. So we were able to deploy and move our network out very rapidly because of our existing customers. So this is the current map. You're going to continue to see innovation here. So feel free to reach out to CDVS if there are countries, or if you have an office location where, when is Zoom going to be in this country type of thing, and we'll be happy to help you out with that. So, in summary, I know we talk about Zoom a lot, but the phone. So again, the architecture from the ground up, the complete set of over 350 to 400 UCaaS features, I think surprises a lot of folks that we've come that far. Our one license that we have is available in 40 countries. So we do keep things extremely simple. So if anyone has questions or you wanted to see some sample pricing, we can go through that. And then we have a lot of different deployment options for our customers. So deploying or moving from, Joe, as you folks know, moving from traditional legacy infrastructure, an Avaya system or a Cisco and on-premise to the cloud can be an arduous process. So we have a lot of different options available for our customers that maybe want to do one of those staged migrations, or want to just do one office, or we have an immediate need. So we're extremely flexible at Zoom. And then from a hardware perspective, we work with a lot of different physical phones. Our user base is heavy on, as you can imagine, soft phones because of our meetings, and most folks now are used to using the headsets. So we don't see as many desk phones, but we are compatible with a lot of different desk phones. So hopefully you've picked up a couple of nuggets today, and maybe an eye opener as to where Zoom is at. We are not done, so continue to keep an eye out for Zoom. Obviously, we're in the news a lot. Our meetings platform is obviously the big to do, but I think the architecture in our core platform, you're going to continue to see more cutting edge technology, like I talked about with digital signage. We recently launched a new service called Zoom On, where entrepreneurs and small businesses can bring their businesses to Zoom meetings and have a full setup where people can, if you're a piano teacher and you want to teach a class on a Saturday afternoon, you can sign up through Zoom On and have your website on there. I can sign up. You can collect money through Zoom On. So it's a great platform that we launched at Zoomtopia. So there's a lot of neat stuff coming from Zoom. So we definitely appreciate, though, Joe, obviously your guys' partnership. We appreciate everyone, spending some time with us today. And again, I hope you picked up a couple things. And if there's any questions the Zoom team can ask, we'll be on chat and or reach out to your CDVS representative, and we'll be happy to help.
Excellent, Adam. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, if you want to take host back, I'm not seeing if Eric.
So Eric is having some internet challenges.
Okay.
So we're going to see which team member from Qumu is ready.
Apparently, I am.
Doug.
So I think in our previous calls, I distinctly said I would not be speaking. But so I'll take over for this. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
We can see your screen.
Great.
Yes.
So I believe you left off here. So I'm going to take probably a bit of a different tact on this because I'm really just interpreting it. This is stuff that we all feel, pretty strongly about, and this is the stuff that we're going through. So I think what we're seeing here is, so to pick up where Eric left off, basically just kind of setting the table for what, for kind of where enterprise communications are right now, enterprise streaming. And you know, and of course how we go hand in hand with Zoom and other conferencing platforms. But we're seeing big shifts, and we've seen it. We saw some of our big customers make shifts immediately, March and April, to enable not, you know, certainly, you know, conferencing and things like that. Those kind of things happen very quickly, very naturally, but also the need for those meetings to be recorded and indexed and be available for afterwards, you know, after those meetings are done. And so that we're seeing businesses shift, you know, obviously those travel budgets aren't as important now. So a lot of those decisions for what kind of technology they're going to be using are being, you know, that money is being pushed into there. And then we're also seeing that as this is happening, it's kind of a natural progression that as they see the need for, you know, video streaming outside of conferencing or in partnership with conferencing, the need for those things to be secure, you know, very secure. I mean, a lot of these meetings where you might, you know, traditionally have been in a room, you know, with, you know, potentially very, you know, sensitive information, those are needing to be, well, one on video conference, needing to be retained. And kind of that's where we come into this. So the enterprise videos, you know, and certainly along with conferencing, being seen as an essential service. Sorry, just a second here. There we go. So this is where we come in. So, you know, Qumu bridging the communication gap. And of course, they're starting to mow the lawn and weed eat outside. So that's bound to happen. But, and this is where Qumu comes in, bridging that communications gap. And so again, we know that I mean, almost everything's being done over Zoom or other conferencing platforms. And the importance for those kind of things, and I've talked about it a lot with customers, where even passing conversations that would happen in a break room or while getting coffee, there's tribal knowledge being exchanged there. It's like, oh, did you hear about this? Yeah, oh yeah. And then that stuff gets disseminated very quickly. Well, that stuff's not happening anymore. Those things are happening inside of meetings, and those meetings need to be captured in a way that they can be made available, they can be made searchable and be useful. And so that information's not lost, right? And then, so that's where we're, you know, as far as content management goes, we're taking those meetings from Zoom and they're being put onto our platform. They're being made available for video on demand. And then there's some really cool features like the ability to search on the speech on spoken word, right? And so that's where we're going, especially we have, you know, some of our customers are aerospace and, you know, defense contractors, you know, you can imagine, or even banking, where there's tons of acronyms or, you know, kind of very industry specific wording. The ability to go and search a video for those kind of specific words and have them pull up on the timeline and be able to go right to where those things are mentioned. These are things that, you know, take that video conferencing and kind of move it on to the next level to be able to really mine for that information, those really important nuggets of information that are happening within those meetings. Let me check the participants here.
And Doug, we do have a question from Thomas, by the way.
Sure.
The search on spoken word, is that multilingual?
Yes, it can be. And because really what it comes down to is it's being searched on phonetics. So on the phenome of the word. And so if you can get close to the word, so in general, it's English based. The ability for other languages is a possibility as well. But we've seen that if you can get close to the sound of the word. So for instance, our name is Qumu, right? And we frequently show when we're showing how speech search works is we spell it K-O-O-M-O-O, and that drops it. And that gets close enough to the phonetic sound of the word so that it's able to bring it up.
All right, great, thank you.
As we move along here, the advanced analytics. So this takes it from, okay, we've got great content management, the ability to be able to really pull that information, but it's important. And again, especially as everybody's at home, you're not really seeing necessarily what your employees are doing or what your customers are doing, the ability to see who's viewing that content. But I mean, fine, we know who's going to see, you know, particular video on demand or whatever, but it's really about your message, right? And it's improving your message, because we have analytics that say, oh, you had a 10-minute video about this and everybody dropped off at 4 minutes. So either everybody felt like you got the point across in 4 minutes, or the content just wasn't great, and so people dropped off for that as well. And so beyond that, which tells you a lot about how you're crafting your message, we also have, you know, kind of the ability to see the quality that people are seeing of the video. You know, did they have a good experience, things like that. So these are things that keep the employees engaged. And then, and again, may not be the case for everybody on the call, but scalable video delivery. And we have some of our largest customers doing, you know, 30, 40, 50,000 user webcasts. Well, that's fine. I mean, we can do that, but it's really about the kind of the stability of the platform, making sure that the quality of that, of the experience maintains, because these are things that are, you know, especially if people aren't in the office, the ability for employees to feel like they're still part of it, to feel that they're getting a good message, and also, again, that it's, you know, that there's quality to it as well. And so this is kind of what ties it together, and kind of a, you know, it kind of shows kind of input, you know, kind of what's being done in the middle, and then how it's kind of being delivered. And we show this at the top, and it's on the top by no mistake, video conferencing. This is one of the biggest inputs into our system for people to be able to either do live from video conference, or from video conference create video on demand as well. And because what we would traditionally have is what's on the bottom, which is less important now, which is studios, right? We do mention home studios there. So, I mean, you could consider my office here a home studio, but the traditional way that people were creating content or doing live broadcasts before everything happened was there's a lot of it being done in studios. I think that's changed, you know, forever now. I think people are going to be much more comfortable, you know, being in front of a camera, communicating a message, and that's happening through Zoom is really what it boils down to now. And we also have the ability, I mean, I could sit here and do a live from my webcam as well through the platform. And we have a lot of people doing that. And we also mentioned user generated, and I think it's going to be talked about in some other slides, but we also have a fair amount of C-level executives or other kind of, you know, other kind of teams within organizations where they just want to do maybe on their, well, before, I would say on their way into work, but just wake up in the morning, have a thought, and sit down at their computer, record something from the webcam and publish it. And maybe it's not something that needed to have people get onto a conferencing platform to talk about. It's just somebody woke up with an idea, 2-3 minutes, pushed it out, and people were able to watch it at their leisure. This is what we're seeing happening with in kind of these organizations, where it's kind of in what the reason, you know, the fact that we're in this situation right now, people have, you know, are starting to adapt to this, you know, to the ability to create content. And then we go through kind of the things that we talked about as well: content management, analytics, search. I mean, we have the ability to surface this stuff into portals. A lot of people, and this is just kind of in our experience, a lot of people take the video that we are storing in our system and embed it into their own portals. So it's super easy to do. And then, you know, intelligent streaming. And again, I think we'll get into this a little bit later, but the ability to watch kind of on any device. I mean, these are, I'm certainly not, I'm not trying to turn this into kind of a salesy thing. I'm trying to focus in on what our customers are seeing as important and what you guys might think is important as well. It's that ability to not even have to think about it, and to turn on your laptop, on your phone, on your tablet, wherever, on your TV, and be able to get a stream that's going to play with the right bandwidth and things like that. So this takes us to, and Adam, thank you. You mentioned it earlier. I don't think we went in the order we expected to here, but we have have an app in the marketplace, and it's really cool. It's really simple. And what this does, and if I was hosting this meeting, right before it started, I would have gotten a little notification in chat from Zoom, the Zoom app, to asking me, what do you want to do for this meeting? Do you want to archive it? Do you want to stream it? Do you want to stream it and archive it? And those are the three options you have. You select one of them and away you go. So maybe you have a standing, you know, Wednesday call, and you just need it to be archived because, you know, people need to go back and take notes off of it or whatever. Again, that it comes back to that speech search, that ability to kind of go back in there and get that information that otherwise might just be in some OneNote or you know, in a binder or something like that. So this this app really simplifies that ability to save content, ability to resurface it if you want to, or the ability to just make sure that that information is staying in a place where you can easily get to those really interesting nuggets of knowledge. So this is a really cool slide. And this is stuff, I've been doing video webcasting one way or another for, 24 years. So before webcasting was kind of webcasting. And this was something that, in the first few years of doing it, everything, all of the video that was being created at a large company, I was at Sprint, for instance, here in Kansas City, this was very formal. Executives were very much used to suit, tie, a talk show format almost, a panel format where everything was very formal, very precise. And what we're seeing now, especially, and I've seen this change happening over the last few years, is that kind of production doesn't have to be there for everything for it to be engaging. And sometimes it's better for it not to be engaging. It's easier to be able to relate, right? And so that's where kind of coming up with that idea, kind of rolling out of bed, sitting in front of a computer with the coffee and in front of a webcam and be able to, present a message or present some kind of idea in a way that's not intimidating, but in a way that's very engaging. And so the keys to the video for right now is it doesn't have to be complex. People are going to get used to this kind of format. It certainly doesn't have to be long. That's where we talked about, the most powerful messages I've seen in my experience have not been hour-long webcasts with 3 speakers going over, some perhaps boring slides. They've been power-packed 5-minute messages, some kind of, go to war, kind of go to battle speech, or some idea. It also doesn't have to be expensive. I've seen numerous new customers for us this year take just a little grain of an idea, spend very little money, and see a lot of benefit from being able to go and do very simple and inexpensive content type creation. Organic is better than produced. And sometimes it's just out of sheer necessity. As we're talking here, everybody's kind of used to what it looks like to be in an office like this right now. So maybe the lighting isn't perfect, audio is not great, but because we're used to the context of this, it has the same impact as something that would be produced in a TV studio. When we go down to the device independent is a key. We talked about on the last slide. This is really about making sure that the video can be viewed on any device. And as we get, as devices get smarter, laptops get smarter, all that thing, we see less and less of this, but it's a thing to keep in mind. This is important for people, again, as we're outside of the office, we're seeing that is perhaps less important right this second. But as Eric said, we're looking at some point in the future is that 60% of people are going to be back to work. Who knows what's going to happen? I do have a feeling that people do want to get back together. I know there's a lot of people are happy to work from home, but I think there's a lot of people that really do need that social kind of interaction and stuff like that. Once they do get back in the office, the ability for video to be network friendly and the ability for the platform to be able to manage the bandwidth so that it's not impacting an enterprise network. And kind of final point, organizations at any size can do this successfully. And we've got, I think we have a new customer from about a few months ago that's 25 people, and they're using our platform for all sorts of interesting use cases, and all the way to CVS, Aetna, who's 85, 100,000 employees, doing a myriad of use cases. I didn't mean to segue right into the CVS Aetna. So again, we're looking at kind of 3 of our big customers and kind of what they're using us for. And there tends to be a thread on all of them, which is executive webcasting. If for CVS Aetna, they've merged. And so there was a massive need to be able to communicate across the merged companies and bring everybody together. AT&T, so the 2 interesting things here, AT&T University and Field Ops Support. So for the use cases for those, AT&T is, if you go to an AT&T store and have a question about a phone, a particular function on a phone or an iPhone or something like that, and the rep doesn't know the answer, they're going to go to their iPad and pull up a video, and that video is coming from us. And so that's one of the ways they use it. And then the field ops support, they're able to record potential issues with phones while we're pairing or other things like that, and have people review it and give feedback on it as well. And I know that Eric is Eric's the rep for Toyota. This is his favorite customer. He loves talking about Toyota, and they do some really interesting stuff. I think there's slides after this as well and go into Toyota. New product rollout. One of the use cases that they have is, I mean, this is video to all their dealers. And so the ability to roll out new cars to dealers effectively. I mean, this has been, I think they've seen an increase of, like 40 or 50% engagement from their dealers to be able to, when they're rolling out videos and things like that about features and cars and things like that. Very, very interesting ways that they're using it. So this is just a quick example of the Toyota use case login. And so this is the ability for the dealers to be able to sign in, and this is an example of one of the live rollout of the new Supra. And what they did was this was a fully live production on a racetrack, and it was basically a mobile recording unit, obviously before Corona. And they did this, I think it was a 45-minute live to all their dealers, where they had basically this guy running it, doing interviews with drivers, taking live questions, and really interacting. Very cool use of streaming. So from that, and I feel like I'm rushing, but so from that, this is something that was really important that we worked with CDVS on. This was American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I'm not going to do it justice. I know we've got videos up, and I think Pete and Joe have access to video. I don't know if it's been posted yet, that will really go over kind of what this was and the impact of it. But basically, we worked with CDVS to provide a platform for American Foundation for Suicide Prevention's Out of the Darkness overnight walks. And these were normally walks that are held overnight. And it really brings together people for, the cause for suicide prevention. It's a big fundraising effort for them. They do a lot of amazing things. And they had 8 weeks from the time they decided they couldn't do these walks. And this is a few months back. And so it really was, when we mentioned pivot earlier, they really had to pivot, really had to pivot hard, because they had already had a lot of plans in place. We worked with, AFSP worked with Corporate Data and Voice and Qumu, and basically came together, gave them a platform to be able to work within and be able to maintain those fundraising goals and be able to bring people together. More importantly, 3,300 people registered to attend, and they had a modified fundraising goal from in-person to online, but they hit 1.5 million. I mean, this was an 8-hour, I believe, and feel free to correct me afterwards, guys, but I think it was an 8-hour total fundraiser, and just really an amazing use case for streaming. And again, not trying to go full pitch on you guys, but this was something that I think at the end of the day, Corporate Data and Voice, Qumu, we got to feel really great about enabling something like this and working with a really great organization.
Hey, Doug, if you don't mind me adding a little bit of information on this one. What I was very impressed with was how quickly the Qumu platform was able to be learned. Sure. They had some super people on staff, but I mean, they rolled up their sleeves in the matter of days. They completely understood how to use your platform. So I know you know a little more about that, but just from my perspective of how quickly they were able to get things built on your platform, I was truly amazed, because when I was learning about Qumu and learn the capability, I always thought it would take weeks to learn your platform, right? And just get a grasp of what it could do in weeks. And again, in days, they were able to launch what they wanted to do and build it. very, very quickly. So that my 2 cents on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's my time to say, well, we have really great folks who really make it happen. Jess Newbill is on. He was the lead guy from our team working with them, and Adriana from marketing as well. I mean, look, there was a lot of effort put into it, but they did. It was a good thing. The approach we took with them focused on what they needed to do, and they understood it. The ability to translate that in 8 weeks to something that allowed them to hit their goal is, I mean, I was really impressed with it. I was really impressed with it. And then at the end of the day, you get to help out with something like this. So yeah. So again, Jess was pivotal there. Everybody enjoyed working together on that one. And it shows again, Qumu and CDVS, the ability to kind of, come together for something like this was really special. So I think that's it for final slide. So we do have free trials. This is something where if you're interested in this, work with CDVS, get us engaged, help kind of, spec out what needs to be done, look at, kind of your use cases and things like that. And again, to Joe's point, to, kind of quickly be able to get you enabled to be able to start creating video for whatever you need to create video for. And again, just kind of work through those things. So again, feel free to work through the folks at CDVS, and they'll pull us in, and we'll see what we can do. So with that, questions, I assume people were submitting them throughout, but I think we've got a few more things that have to be done, but I'll be on through the end if you have any more questions.
All right, Doug, truly appreciate you jumping in. The only thing I heard from Eric was his internet completely went down. So yeah. That's why we always want a backup person. These things happen. It's reality in the days we live in today, right? So
sure.
So I'm gonna open it up one last time for questions before we do a quick raffle, announce those winners, and then get on with our days. So anybody that is on, anybody have any questions for either the folks at Zoom or Qumu?
Yeah, I have a quick question about content storage for you guys. You have the ability to store vast amounts of video content and metadata and archive it so that it's quickly searchable. And if I need to pull video of a video that was shot 2 years ago, but we've meta tagged it and all that stuff, is that something that's easily done through your service?
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of customers. I didn't mean to say yeah. That was nice, but a lot of our customers come to us, or new customers come to us with libraries, or whether it be from competitors or some other kind of thing. And I mean, what it boils down to is we have a professional service. Some of it can be done really easily, just importing video, but some of it needs to be, especially if you have it tagged previously, to be able to maintain all of that metadata and things like that. We have a PS team that's able, that regularly, gets that stuff into the system. Yeah, so all new content, or all the content that's put in there, would kind of get all those features we talked about around speech search and things like that.
And if I just wanted to use that area of your services, is that something that's possible? Sure. Do you have tiers of storage? And
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, happy to talk with you about it. I've talked to Pete. Pete knows all about it. So.
I got you, Cam.
Right, Cameron, thank you very much for the question. And then Adam, you have a question from Rob. Do you see that one? I want to unmute your microphone.
That way always works better. I did just post an article regarding digital signage, but just to give you an idea, that a couple of things: digital signage when you are a Zoom meetings customer, a Zoom rooms customer, when you come on board, digital signage is included, so it is a huge value add. So there isn't an extra cost. So I mean, take a look at that support article. It's something we've been doing for years. So just depends on what you're looking for. We can stream. It's more than just having a still image on the digital signage is what we used to have, and you actually now can stream live content, stream weather, stream who's coming in the building for the day, and things of that nature. So it has come a long way over the last year and a half. But I think the thing that obviously our customers really like about it is that it's included at no additional charge.
Great, that's awesome. Excellent. Any other questions for the group here? All right, well, we'll get over to the last piece of it here. We'll do our 2 raffles. And again, thank you to Zoom for offering these up. So the first person that, well, if you ask more questions, you get more chances. So Rob McCullen, is that correct, Rob? Did I say it correctly? So Rob, you are one of the winners of the Zoom package. So we'll get your email. I believe we have your email. Do we have Rob's information? Kelly,
We do. Yep.
Yes, so we're good there. So we'll follow up with Rob. All right, congratulations, Rob. And the second one is Thomas Jones. So is Thomas still on the line on the meeting? Yes, he is.
Looks that way.
Yes.
So awesome.
Perfect.
Excellent. So I think Thomas asked a question. So again, ask more questions, get more chances. I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much for our presenters today, Doug. Again, thank you very much for picking up what Eric wasn't able to do today. Eric did apologize to the group, but those things happen. A special thank you for all the attendees. Appreciate all the questions. Hard to believe that we're on the edge of the holiday season. So I want to wish everyone a great holiday and a safe holiday season. Crazy on what's going on. Can't believe we're getting to the end of the year. But again, a big thank you to everyone. Thank you for the CDVS crew for getting the attendees here. I thought it was a great session. I learned a few things, so that's always awesome. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.